So I'm here with Mary Retallack, who's a viticulturist and works with Wakaza, and today she's just announced the EcoVineyards project. So Mary, can you tell us about that?
Sure, it's a really exciting project which has been funded through the National Landcare Smart Farm Small Grants process. And EcoVineyards is all about us growing resilience naturally. It builds on some recent work that I've done with some PhD studies, and we're looking at locally adapted native insectary plants and their capacity to provide happy homes, so food and shelter for good bugs, and then we get the benefit from those good bugs of providing natural biological control. So it's a great way that we can start to demonstrate our environmental credentials and build resilience into production zones, and in doing so, growers have the capacity to potentially, in the long term, save both money, time and resources.
So what will the project involve?
What we're going to do, we plan to do, is to set up a series of 24 tailored insectary trial sites throughout South Australia. So there'll be 3 in each of the major Wine Grape Council South Australia regions, and in doing so we'll be partnering with those local regions and individual growers to be able to make meaningful change on the ground. And I'll come in then and do some monitoring of the good bugs. We'll be putting in some raptor perches to attract predatory birds and insectivorous birds with the local vegetation. We'll also be encouraging microbats, and they can eat up to half their body weight every night in insects, so they all contribute to natural biological control of vineyard pests.
Nice. And how will growers benefit from this sort of initiative?
Yeah, we have the opportunity to benefit in a range of different ways. So we have a few key pests in vineyards. One of them is light brown apple moth. Light brown apple moth potentially causes up to $18 million worth of damage each year. It can also predispose bunches to botrytis and other bunch rots, and that's another $52 million per year. So if we can manage the light brown apple moth damage and reduce that pressure, potentially we can save up to $70 million a year. Growers also find they may have problems with grapevine scale, mealybugs. Quite often that occurs when there's altered climatic conditions, but also when a vineyard situation might be a little bit out of balance. So if we can provide a whole lot of insectary vegetation, which brings in the good bugs to provide biological control, then growers potentially benefit from that perspective. And also there's the marketing opportunity. We can use our unique Australianness, unique Australian flora to be able to develop collateral and to present that to our international audience, so we can stand out in a crowded marketplace and to be able to demonstrate how we can grow grapes in a uniquely Australian way.
So if I'm not one of those selected sites in the initial trial, how can I as a grower get involved or learn more?
We'd love to encourage as much community involvement as we can. We want to repurpose, for instance, being able to use tree guards made from cut down vine guards and repurpose, say, CCA posts and those types of things. So there's going to be lots of opportunity for the general community to be involved. And what we're going to do with showcasing those trial sites is developing lots of educational materials, lots of insights, cost and benefit, and to be able to then share that information really broadly so that all of the growers within South Australia, all of the members of Wine Grape Council will get the opportunity to benefit from that information, and we'll have regionally specific recommended plant species lists and information which is going to be really practical and local for those individual regions.
And in your announcement today you highlighted that in Europe they plant rose bushes at the end of their rows. What's a simple way an Australian grower can make their vineyard a little bit more eco-friendly?
We've had some fantastic, I guess, pioneers in this field, and one of those pioneers is Prue Henschke, who many of your viewers would know. And what Prue did is she actually planted this fantastic plant called Christmas bush, Bucerius venosa, at the end of the strainer post. So perhaps instead of us emulating what happens in Europe, where they perhaps do plant the rose bushes, they look great, but they don't provide any intrinsic value. What we can do is we can perhaps make a decision to plant an Australian plant, and it might be Christmas bush, or it might be prickly tea tree, another appropriate species, or even a ground cover that looks great, which provides functional biodiversity benefits. It looks good, but it's also functional. Growers get the benefit of that natural biological control and attracting the good bugs at the same time.
Perfect. And when is the EcoVineyards project starting?
We've just received the paperwork, and we're going to be starting the project in the new financial year. So we'll start to roll information out from July onwards, and we'll be hopefully getting some of these trial plantings set up in spring. So we'll gradually do that, and we'll have signage, and everyone will be able to see where those trial sites are, because they'll be labelled with the EcoVineyard signage, and we'll be working with all of the eco growers.
So growers should stay tuned for more.
They should.
Cool. Thank you, Mary.